Shalom Chaverim. I say this every Wednesday night when we begin. I ask myself, I have another yarmulke I found. I get to... when I lived in Israel, my name is Chaim Ben Tzvi, so this was... I put this in a drawer. This is my... Can't tell I'm actually wearing as a... This is the one I usually put on, but I found this, brought back memories. Chaim. Okay. Hard to believe another week has gone by, and the weather, we had rained a little bit of drizzle, but the weather was mild. It was a rather pleasant day, though I understand for those of you in the Outer Banks and living along the coast and maybe planning vacations in Atlantic City, Ocean City, or in the Carolinas, they're recommending staying out of the water, because of the hurricane and the waves and the riptides. And I know you aren't watching and listening to get an update on the weather. And if you want to know about the news, there are plenty of different sources that one can go to find out what's going on, not just here in D.C., but in Gaza and in Africa as well, where there is rape and murder going on and a true genocide there. I want to get away from that, however. I was talking with a friend, and we're talking about Gaza, and he mentioned that he donates money to the chef that does the kitchens that supplies food. And he said, I'm not supporting Israel. I'm not supporting Hamas. I'm donating money for someone that supplies food that's on the ground. And he said to me, is that enough? Why is everyone going after everyone about extremes? Do you support Israel's genocide? Do you support the Hamas terrorism and raping people and murdering? And he stopped and said, that's politics. And we don't agree with the politics, so what can I do? I can donate, and maybe one of you listening will remember the name of the chef that has the organization that supplies food. And then he said to me, isn't that enough? What's with this extreme and then not doing anything? And we had a fascinating conversation because much of the criticism here on TikTok, much of the criticism I read is from people who aren't doing anything and can't do anything. And truly, pithy sayings, taking people to task, it might be some kind of catharsis for us, but in reality, if we want to affect change, we have to get elected to public office. We have to join organizations, get on the board of the Red Cross, the Doctors Without Borders, which is one of my favorite organizations. We need to fund actual organizations that are on the ground doing things. And that was our discussion, and he brought up the word Dayenu. When is it enough? During the holiday of Passover at the Seder, there is a song that can go on for a very long time. And the chorus is, it would have been enough, Dayenu. And you could start with the creation of the world. You can start with the giving of the Ten Commandments, the Torah. You can bring in food and housing. And it just goes on, and each verse ends with, that would have been sufficient, I would have been happy. And that's what I want to make our topic tonight, Dayenu. But not just about donating to the food bank, not just donating to the clothing, I want to say bank again, but that's not, closets. Not just volunteering at the food bank, not just volunteering at the clothes closet, in terms of how we spend our money, what we do with our time. I think that's a worthwhile topic of self-examination, is Dayenu. When is it enough? Do we need the newest Apple, I'm looking for my phone, Apple phone? This is an SE, came out, I don't know how many years ago, to replace the old SE, but it's not the 16, 17, or 18, whichever one they're doing. It's a phone. And it's enough for what I do. And I replaced, my old one was an SE, that the battery went down to 20 or 30 minutes. It wouldn't hold a charge. And then I thought, gee, maybe I'll just get the battery replaced, but it wouldn't take the newest updates for my Apple Watch. And that's something I use for exercise, for health, for my heart, for all kinds of things. So I said, no, instead of just replacing the battery, I'll get the new SE. It's enough. It's fine. It does what I need. I'm not blaming or criticizing, just pointing out an observation that we, as human beings, have a very hard time with Dayenu. We have a very hard time with it's sufficient, it's enough. How many of this do I need? Do I need one of the newest televisions? What's not wrong? What is my present TV not presenting me? It's a great picture. It's big enough. Dayenu. It's enough. It used to all be with cars as well, but now cars are so expensive that finally we're looking at our pocketbooks, our wallets, and we're thinking, gee, is this something I can afford? What does this model have that what I'm driving doesn't? Now, maybe repairs have gotten to the point where it's time to get a new vehicle. Okay. Maybe it's time to get a used vehicle that has had a lot of repairs done, so there's lots of miles left. Okay. I remember growing up, whatever model car you had, it wasn't enough. You needed the newest one. And it escaped me because it had more cup holders, different navigation system. Kind of odd that as human beings, we're very susceptible to not being satisfied with what we have. And isn't that the whole function of advertising? I see a number of people are being asked to be invited as a guest. The answer is yes. Next Wednesday night. You can name the topic. Email rabbiblock@hotmail.com. We'll meet in my Zoom room. You'll tell me the topic. We'll discuss the topic. You'll introduce the topic. We'll see how we're going to have two of us. Do we want to do a this side and that side. Do we want to agree on something? What's our procedure going to be? So yes, all of you who want to be invited as a guest and co-host are invited. Just email me, and next Wednesday night, I feel like the Maytag repairman. It's very lonely being here by myself. Truly, I would like company. We can do a point counterpoint. We'll set it up. And we just need to discuss how we're going to set it up. So please, for all the people who are asking to be invited, you're invited next Wednesday night. Just get in touch with me. And I'm available most weekdays between 10 and 10. Retired. So I have plenty of time to meet, and I'll fit in with your schedule. And then we can go to my Zoom room and see how we're going to handle it. Please give us the definition. Nita, why are you interested in the Talmud section in Nita? I'm going to look it up. I'm going to Safaria. I gave up my... What just happened to my color? I'm going to have to adjust my... Oh, there we go. Yeah, this is one of the bizarre sections in the Talmud that discuss marriage and betrothing. Now, remember, when you betroth someone, you can't live with them. And so if we're talking about betrothing, it's an arranged marriage. And it's, I wouldn't, please contact me. I'd like to know why you picked this particular passage. About betrothing a child at a young age, which is arranged marriages. I wonder why you find that fascinating. I know of no circumstances. I've never been involved with this. I've never read about it actually happening. And so I'm not quite sure what the rabbis in the Talmud are. I'd have to do some more research as to what they're talking about and why they're talking about betrothal. I'm just scrolling down through the Gemara. I'll have to do some more reading into it. There are a lot of sections, by the way, in the Talmud that we can't puzzle out today, that never happened, that people weren't doing. And so we're at a loss as to why it's being discussed. And why we're keeping it into the Talmud. And the other question is, are we reading with accuracy betrothing a 3-year-old? Though we do know arranged marriages in many societies were done when children were born. And so one would wonder if this is the actual age we're talking about, or not quite sure. I honestly don't understand the passage. And I find it curious that someone wanted to bring that up. I mean, I could see the passages on Passover, on observing the Sabbath, on prayer and worship, but a particular one on betrothing And if one is ultra-Orthodox, I'd suggest you talk to your own rabbi and see what's going on, what the intent is. Enough. Dayenu. And let's take a moment, not necessarily now, but at some point stop yourself, and when you're watching an advertisement, just think, what about that product? Does it fulfill a function? Does it fulfill a need? Do I already have an air fryer that works? Will this one do something for me? Obviously, products do lots of great things. Cars have lots of cup holders. When Volkswagen introduced the microbus in the United States, they had to add more cup holders because when people came into the showroom and were looking at the microbus, the complaint was it doesn't have enough cup holders. But I'm looking to convert to Judaism. The person's just asked about converting. Email me, rabbiblock@hotmail.com, and we can discuss conversion. Be glad to go over Reform, Conservative, Orthodox, Reconstructionist, non-Orthodox, non-traditional. There's a lot of aspects, and it's important for us to talk and to figure out why you want to convert, what you're not finding in your own religion, and will Judaism fulfill what you're not finding? If so, are you looking at Orthodox, ultra-Orthodox, Reform, or Reconstructionist? But please, send me an email, and I'd be glad to help you in terms of converting to Judaism, because within Judaism, each of our denominations has different requirements, different rabbis have different requirements. And so, given that, we want to give it a fair hearing. So please let me know. I'm just looking at something over here. I'm not... Ooh, there goes... I see, whenever I turn my head, it tries to compensate. Let's see what other questions we have. The supermarket, Costco, Walmart, Target, any big store, Home Depot, there's a difference. Yeah, you can convert to Judaism. Someone just said you can't. Of course you can. And according to Jewish law, a convert is considered a Jew in all respects. So once someone converts, people are admonished not to throw it at them, not to accuse them of not being really Jewish, etc., etc. So, yes, and different aspects of Judaism have different requirements. So certainly, Judaism is a religion. I'm an American. I happen to be Jewish. You might be Roman Catholic and American. You might be Methodist and American. It's a religion. Now, Israeli is a nationality. I'm not an Israeli. I'm not Swiss. I'm not French. I'm not German. I don't have a passport from the Vatican, the Holy See. And so we want to separate out one's religion from nationality and look at who are you, and you can certainly go from Christianity to Judaism. You can go from Judaism to Christianity. It's a matter of how we understand the universe, how we understand God, how I unite with the One. And so there are different, I've mentioned this over and over, there are as many ways to understand the One as there are blades of grass on the fairway. I don't want to say there are as many religions as there are blades of grass. That would seem like a lot, but there are a lot. definitely a lot of ways. And you want to meet with representatives of the religion. You also want to meet with people who have that faith group. And if it's an organized religion, you want to attend services, lectures, classes, to see what if the philosophy and theology resonates with you. And nothing says if you convert to Judaism, you can't decide to go back to being a Baptist or Methodist. By the same token, if you're Jewish and you become Roman Catholic and you say, it doesn't work, I'm missing something, go back to Judaism. It's fine. Can I give an... I'm moving because of it's white and it's getting on my shirt. Can you give us an example of how you connect with God? Walking, sitting quietly, listening to music. I happen to like classical music. I like country and western. I like jazz. And so I find music speaks louder than words, and in many ways helps me connect with the one. Walking. It's sitting quietly, staring at the wall, counting flowers on the wall, playing solitaire with a deck of 51. It's how do I unite? How do I turn off the static? And that's truly how we're going to connect with the one. There's noise around us. There are distractions around us. Our own minds distract us. I have to do that. Oh, I forgot to do that. Oh, there's a great something on HBO. Oh, I have to watch Netflix. What about Prime? There are a lot of distractions. And so, yeah, Leonard, you just wanted to get invited. Maybe you missed. Send me an email, rabbiblock@hotmail.com, and you're on as my co-host and guest next Wednesday. We'll meet in my Zoom room and discuss what we're going to do. So if we want to unite with God, we have to turn down the distractions and shut off the static. Sometimes we can actually unite with God when we're watching television, TikTok. Sometimes that turns off the static for us. It's a very individual process. It's different from community worship. Community worship is just that. We gather as a community of like believers and we sing, I'm not a political Zionist. That keeps popping up. I follow Echad Ha'am. I'm a spiritual, cultural Zionist. I've never been a big fan of political Zionism, because political Zionism is about a country and a place. And as we see with the United States, I believe in the Constitution. In fact, I swore an oath to uphold the Constitution. I'm not thrilled with a lot of choices our present government is making. I'm still a patriot. But I don't agree with the politics. Okay? And so there's not only one kind of Zionist. And here in the United States, we talk about degrees of patriotism. We don't have different words for it. And sometimes if you say you're a patriot, it means an extreme form, like political Zionism. And many of us aren't extreme Zionists, extreme patriots of the United States. And a lot of us aren't extremes. Dayenu. How much is enough for you? How much hating someone? How much discrimination? I've been talking about buying products and going into stores and judging how many shirts do I need. And someone comes out with a new one with a new logo. And I feel the need to buy it or get it, I want us to stop and say, why? Does the shirt you have, the clothes you have, is it enough? How much has the style changed so that you don't look foolish? Retro is coming back. People are now buying clothes that I grew up watching people wear. And all of a sudden, that's the cat's meow. That's the greatest thing in the world, is going back. And that just supports what I'm saying. Dayenu, when is it enough? In terms of hate, in terms of promoting a political position, when is it enough? When have you said enough? Take action. Join organizations. Follow through. Dayenu. That is our theme tonight, based on one of my friends who raised that question. When is it enough? What's wrong with my phone that I need one that's only incrementally better, and there's nothing wrong with the one I'm carrying? My computer. Now, granted, my M1 MacBook is much faster than my Intel iMac. It's noticeably faster. I don't know if my M1 is noticeably slower than the M2, the M3, the M4, the M5, or the new M6. Then the other thing I ask myself is, what am I doing that would require that? I'm not happy what's going on with Gaza. I'm not happy with Israel's invasion. I think it's very bad policy, bad politics. I'm an American citizen. I'm not Israeli. I don't vote in Israeli politics. I want to keep my focus on local. You know, I was on the school board up in Harford County for 10 years. I was on the board of Harford Community College for 5 years. Because I believe in doing local. Not happy with it, take some action. Participate in your local food bank, your local clothes closet. If you belong to a church, a temple, a mosque, a religious organization, they all have local programs for clothing, for feeding, and for helping. And that's a good place, not just to start, but to stay with it. I'm watching my clock as well, because the Rabbi could talk. Of course, I always end with a word from our sponsor, How to Be Jewish in 30 Seconds. And the cartoons by Joe Sutliff are worth the price of the book alone, never mind the wisdom of Rabbi Block. And for those of you that keep asking questions about Gaza and Zionism, please go to my YouTube channel, The Rabbi and I, or listen to my podcasts, The Rabbi and I. And you'll get a much more in-depth, and it'll truly answer your questions. I'm also looking for the name of, I may be running out of time by that time. Oh, Live from America podcast. I've been on there a couple of times. They have a YouTube channel, and again, that will answer a lot of your questions about Israel and Gaza and politics and what's going on. Live from America, not just my podcasts on there, but they've had guests on. Individuals discussing exactly what you're asking me. What do you think about... Yeah. I don't agree with what's going on in North Africa, in the African countries. Starvation, truly genocide. The UN has labeled it as genocide. Our time is up. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And please, the Rabbi and I'll see everyone next Wednesday night. Lila Tov.